Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death.
Hello.
So, off you go. You're going to head down to Siphon. Right?
Sinus.
Sinus, that's the one.
Yep. So I will pack my little rucksack with some snacks, some pita, some olives,
maybe
some fruit.
Gather what you can and head out.
There's not like a mass carver in town, is there?
No, Necrot's a pretty small area. I think not any great craftsmen of that kind around here, but any of the nearby villages might have something.
Yeah, I'll look another time or something. Well, let's just hope that no one messes up the troll cage while I'm gone.
All right. Well, off through the hills you go. You pass through the oasis, which is barren, and on to the next hex. Take some encounter checks here.
Yeah.
Nothing today. Are you going to pass through Romulus?
I think I will. I mean, that would be the next day, but yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and move to the next day, because there's nothing on that first day of travel.
Yeah, I went...
Dry, dusty hills, baking in the late summer sun.
Right, let's do... What was the village north of Romulus? I can't even remember, but... And around evening on the second day, I will wander into Romulus.
You will be stricken by the stone carvings that you see here. It appears there is an homage to one of the Romulan warriors, a man with a spear in hand, thrusting at some unseen target as a way to ward off whoever might be entering in. Appears they are trying to ward their bounds, keep the unwanted out.
Okay. I will walk past that and enter the village. I recall it was like in a river valley, right?
Yeah, there's a creek that runs through it. And there's the throne in the central square that stays just as it did before. People will spot you coming in, and those that are afraid of you will back up, and those that might not have been real big fans of Remus to begin with are a little less afraid and stand about, seeing you enter the town.
Am I recognized?
You are certainly recognized by everyone.
Yeah. I guess I'm wearing a little crown. Are there warriors about? Have they crafted new spears and
there are
new shields?
No.
Really?
See, not a warrior. One of the people of this village who is less than afraid of you will approach and say to you, Devon, you have returned. What brings you to our humble village?
I am just passing through on the way to Sinus. I heard tell of a cleric down there.
They say they have a cleric of the sea, a witch of the waves.
It's interesting. Didn't encounter her in my last visit, but perhaps I can seek her out. How fare the Romulans? I look around to see if I see any warriors or if has Remus been banished? I'll ask them as much. Is Remus still around?
He has gathered forth his warriors and gone to fight a great monster in the south.
God. A better use of his talents than subjugating your neighbors.
Afraid he is much the man he was before, only laid low with humility.
Do you know what beast this is? Surely not the Aboleth.
A true monster has given birth to a swarm of... I know not the words to describe them, but feathered raptors whose bite or peck turns a man to stone.
Chickens? I say.
They look taller, longer, more streamlined. I doubt they lay eggs, but... Well, she points back in the direction of that carved warrior at the edge of town.
Is that carving new?
Brand new, and by the way she's gesturing at it, it is no carving.
Oh. I looked back. Can I see it from here, at least in the distance?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a full-on statue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Where are these chickens? What village?
They came from the southeast. But Romulus and his men went to the woods, to the west of that, in search of the creature's mother. What birthed them.
Perhaps I will encounter them on my journeys. Maybe we can put the past aside and put an end to this curse together. And I think if I force march, I can get all the way to Sinus today. So I've used 20 of my movement. If I force march, I can go 36. Oh no, I can't quite make it. I would need to go. Oh yeah, that's fine. Right over grassland
Is only 6.
Oh, okay,
If
but
you-
I've 20, 30. Yeah, okay, I see.
36 and... Oh yeah, you could do it then, right? Because you've got 24 and
No,
because
because I think I. But you use the movement when you leave. So I did 1,
right.
2. I've done 10, 20. It would be 30 to get me to the grassland,
Right.
and 36 to get me to the next grassland, which would get me there, right?
Then 36, yeah.
30. Yeah, so I can force march and get there. Okay. So I'll pass through, push on into the night, and reach that. I'll go ahead and roll my con check, I suppose, to see if I pass this. Are there no penalties associated with force marching, or do you just get to keep going?
I think you just get to keep going. I think the check is to see if you can continue, and the penalties are just going to be there. But I'm going to double check the rules.
This is saying when you fail the force march.
Check is passed. The force march pace can be continued the next day. If it's failed, no more can be completed until you recover from. One drawback is that you get a -1 penalty on attack rolls. This modifier is cumulative. Half day's rest required to move 1 day's worth of penalty. Yeah. So if you force
So
march,
the
you'll have
penalty is regardless.
right.
Okay. So in the night, I will enter Sinus. There aren't exactly taverns or anything, are there?
No, this place is not that developed at all. As you enter Sinus, you will see more of these petrified people maybe about 15 of them scattered throughout the town.
Do they look like they're arranged, like they're left out as statues or as memorials, or are they frozen where they fell?
First half dozen you come across seem to have been moved towards the edge of the village and placed in a circle facing each other. But as you make your way by the dying light of the day into the village, you can still see that there are a few others, some in states of movement, like tied to logs that are being like wiggled so as not to accidentally break off any legs or something, and then sort of left in place where they couldn't finish moving them over the course of the day. The people of the village are mostly asleep by the time you enter. You'll just see a few lights on in a few homes, candles or oil.
What's the weather like?
Dry.
Warm? Okay. I think I'll go sleep on the beach. I brush a finger across one of these statues as I walk past it. And, well, we'll see. All right.
Feels smooth under your skin, as if each individual little hair and bump is turned to stone as well, not rough, as smooth as a person would be.
Well, I go to the beach and rest to the sound of lapping waves.
The night will pass. You'll be awoken in the morning, not by the rising light of the sun, but by a fisherman who is trying to get up super early and go catch something, but finds a strange man on his beach. And he gives you like a poke with the butt of his little trident. He goes, "Oi, hey, who are you? What are you doing here?"
I sit up. What is it? Oh, good morning, fisherman.
You look familiar. Who are you?
I am Devon, friend of the merfolk.
It takes a little while for the gears in his head to click with who you are, and he'll take a few steps back when he realizes, oh. Well, be at ease then, there, friend.
I've come to see your sea witch, but it appears other problems have descended in my absence.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where the witch lives?
Points west along the coast. There's a sea cave out there. But I don't know if you're going to find what you like, or like what you find.
What do you mean?
She's been made like the others. You know
Turned
about
stone?
the others? Yeah.
Shit.
She was the first one. A stranger showed up in town, dressed in dark, traveling cloak with a hood pulled up over her head. Asked about to see where she was, where the priestess was, and went to visit her. And we all heard this, like a clap like thunder and a piercing shriek. And out from the direction of the cave came this thundering of small raptors. Those that stood in their path were turned to stone as they scattered throughout. Maybe 100 of them, 150 of them. I don't know, bunch of them, and then they just ran off into the plains, headed in all directions. Saw the figure come back out, cloak pulled over her. He left.
Where did she
Headed
go?
West.
West.
Yeah, we went to check out the cave, and there Saris was. Turned to stone, as if in the middle of speaking, hand held aloft to the sky.
Oh. Well, calm seas, sailor. Thank you for your time. And I'll get myself up and dust myself off, gather my things. I'll catch up on my rest another time.
He'll hitch his pants up and head out into the water with his trident and start looking for fish.
Why were his pants down?
I mean, like the cuffs.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's spearfishing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will slowly start walking west towards the Sea Witch's cave.
All right.
Is it easy to find?
Yes, it is.
An obvious cave somewhere west
quite
of town.
Easy. Find the appropriate. As you come along the coast, you'll see that the shoreline starts as a beach, and the further west you go, you run into some bluffs. The bluffs still have a bit of beach before them, and then there is an archway in the bluffs, where from the beach where you are, you can see that there is a cave that runs in, and then there's like I guess you would call it like an atrium, where light can still come down. So there's like an archway in front, and then like an open section, and then a cave beyond that.
Is it a natural archway?
Mm-hmm.
Like eroded by the waves?
Yeah, like the one that used to exist at Glider Beach.
Yeah. Did that collapse eventually?
It collapsed.
Yeah. Well, I will enter the cave, enter the atrium, and look up at the sky.
You can see the sky above. A little bit overcast today.
Is the atrium decorated?
No, it's just rough sand all over the place. There's a little bit of decorations on the sides. There's some, looks like a tiki torch, but not a tiki torch, just like a sconce on a stick. Some sconces on sticks, dug into the sand near the edges, where one would have oil lanterns, but they're oiled torches, but they're not lit right now. And there is a cave within, and you can see footprints in the sand that lead out. Bare-trod feet, the only set of feet exiting here, except for the countless little marks of chicken feet all over the place. They're a little harder to see in the sand, but they're there. Whole swarm of raptors.
150 of them?
Well within the possibility of what we're looking at.
Yikes. I will enter the cave and look around.
Yes. Give me a perception check.
I have my spear in hand.
Yes.
Nailed it.
As you get to the edge of the cave and your eyes begin to adjust, you can see there is indeed a statue of a woman, hand held aloft to the sky as if she were about to channel a divine command or something. And then poking out from behind her legs,
Glancing blow.
one of these chicken things, one of the cockatrices, as it may be. It sees you.
It sees me?
Yes. It has the body of a chicken, the wings of a bat, the tail of a something.
I think a
The
snake
long
or something,
tail
right?
of a lizard tipped with a few feathers, I guess. It's
I want it as a pet. Someone saw this in a vision. Did I see this in a vision, or was that Atropos?
Atropos told you to beware of the chickens.
Yeah. Since getting this crown, though, and scraping around inside other people's thoughts, consciousness tends to blur together.
This creature has decided you are prey, or you're invading its home, and is coming for you. So I believe it is time to roll for initiative.
Actually, I take that back. I meant there's enough sun overhead that there are shadows, right?
Certainly, it's an overcast
Yeah,
day,
so
but
it's a shadow snap.
There's the shadow of the cave compared to the shadows in the area around you.
I'm like just in the entrance though, right? So I back into the atrium and prepare to shadow snap when the creature enters the light.
Excellent. Let me just up my minions.
Minions?
The royal minion. You get a 1 on your initiative roll? 2? Okay,
2. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I step back, get the words on the tip of my tongue. I think, let's see, points to the sky. So does this need to be under open sky? A shadow snap?
I don't think so. Points to the sky. A blade springs forth from the air and plunges to the ground. No, you don't need to be under the open sky. You might need like at least some headroom. You probably couldn't do it in like a really tight area, but the cave is large enough that the ceiling is vaulted up like 15 feet or so.
Okay. So it gets a saving throw.
Right. Saving throw for the cockatrice. 10, and I am pretty confident that is not going to pass.
The blade sinks into the sand, holding the creature's shadow tight.
Yes. The bird is held fast. It will squawk. It will flap its wings and attempt to fly, but it can do none of these things. Instead, it'll just screech at you, as a chicken might, over
Does
and
there
over
only
again.
appear to be one?
Yes.
I narrow my eyes and look at the creature.
Shadow Staff has duration of 1 minute per level, and you are level 4?
Correct.
Okay.
4.
So you've got 3 rounds now, because it took around that time, in which you can do whatever you want. So go nuts.
Is it bad if I want to keep it?
There's 150 of these things, right? Keep whichever one you want.
Looking into the cave, do I see any rope?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. There are lots of rope decorations around. There's like coils of rope packed about. It is very nautical themed. There's like a couple of overturned, old, ruined boats that are being used. One is as a bed that's sort of like resting, like suspended as a hammock might be. One is turned over and used as a table. One has been burned out in the middle and is used as like a fire pit. Plenty of rope about.
I can maybe capture it after I beat it into submission. So I will go ahead with the arcane spray now.
Okay. Yep. Spray me a chicken.
And then I will roll my... You roll really well, or really poorly?
Really, really poorly.
But that's not right. Should I keep that 4 and do the math?
Is that a saving throw?
It should be the new saving throw with an int. Do you want me to re-roll entirely?
Just re-roll it, yeah.
Okay, it should be with intelligence. That's better.
There we go.
We're actually going to deal 20 damage. Yeah, it was just a regular saving throw versus spell, not the new save versus spell.
Okay. So 5 hit die creature, so it gets plus 10 to its save.
And then Dex will be, I think we've said before that it's half if it's restrained by a Shadow Snap.
Right. So we're looking at a 16 total on its saving throw.
It rolled like a 1.
It did roll a 1, yeah. So you will
16,
do 24 damage.
Yeah, 20 is the max, so we actually do max damage. Blasted. Yeah. Oh,
Only
5 hit die.
die.
It average will be like 20 something HP.
10, 21 HP. 2 6s, 2 4s, and a 1.
That's perfect.
The creature is rendered all but dead as your bits of magic rip through it all over the place. It slumps forward. Can you hear that blade? That saw?
Saw?
You don't hear a saw?
Barely. I don't think so. There's a lot of music and stuff, though. Just a moment. I assume you can't hear the saw either, chat. Neal's wife is disassembling their house. Don't worry, she'll save his office for last.
The neighbor that shares our deck has been gone for a long time, and he's got like a wood shop out there. He was actually gone for so long that I was worried he had died and no one knew. But he arrived home today, and now these saws are back. Anyway. Yes, the creature is all but dead. It slumps forward. Its feet still like standing straight up and down because it's been shadow snapped, but the rest of the body laying on the ground, breathing heavily, the edge of its life.
I assume without Dex, a 13 will hit it with whatever random object I can find nearby to like knock it out, and just like throw a rock.
Yeah, it's got 14 AC, so it's flank, back, whatever, even without Dex.
But
it's you render the beast unconscious with a bludgeoning blow to its back.
And I will quickly search the cave to make sure there's nothing inside.
There's nothing else nefarious within. You will find that the very back of the cave has a, I don't know what you would call it, like a stack of stones and then a depression where there is water. It looks like this is below the water table, so this is probably just seawater right here at the back.
Is it like
of the
a
cave.
pathway that goes somewhere, or is it just allowing seawater
There's like
in?
a ring of rocks against the back of the cave, and then contained within these rocks is just like salt water.
So a shrine rather than or like a pool of holy water.
Right, a pool of water.
Not an entrance into like an underwater cave or anything.
I don't know. You'd have to jump in the water or, reach in, at least see how deep it is. You can't see the bottom in the darkness of the cave. Yeah, because, it's not very bright in here.
Okay. I'll worry about that in a second. For now, I'm going to go around gathering some rope and tie up this chicken.
Okay.
I've got animal handling.
Like to tie it? What is the part you would like to restrain?
I'm worried about its beak is what turns you to stone, so I need to make some sort of mask for it. I'll put its head in a bag for now.
Okay.
And then like tie a leash around its neck. Is that how you lead a chicken around? Does it have scary spurs on its feet too?
No, it's just got normal chicken feet, which are sort of scratchy and annoying.
Pretty scary, but... So, yeah. So I put a bag over its head. And then tie it on a leash. And does its tail look lethal? Like, what about it looks like it could be used as a weapon? It's mostly just its scary beak.
Just its beak. I mean, it doesn't look particularly dangerous. It looks frightening only because of its monstrosity.
I mean, it's got bat wings and a creepy tail.
Right. But, like, the wings aren't going to hurt you. The tail's not really going to hurt you. The beak is the only thing that looks dangerous, but it's a clear abomination. The cockatrice is an eerie, repulsive hybrid of lizard, hawk, and bat. First sentence.
Is this creature exist in folklore, or are we witnessing the creation of them?
I think you are witnessing the creation of them. I don't think this is anything that you've ever heard of before.
Yeah, it's a horrible abomination. Okay. All right. Creature is sufficiently restrained. I will tie it up to a post or something. Is there a bed in here?
The bed is an old rowboat that is suspended on ropes.
Okay, so I'll tie it around like one of the benches, or maybe just around one of the ropes there in case it wakes up. And look around. He already rolled for cock size. It has 21 HP. Thanks for the reminder there, chat. All right, I'm going to search this. Does it look like a dwelling, or is this like a temple? What is this place?
It looks sort of like another weird, witchy cave, sort of like Atropos is, but instead of being built on a crevice up on a plateau, on a rise on a mountain, this is in a cave by the sea with with all sorts of boats and ropes and spears and torches and a little sea well in the back.
I will approach the statue, put a hand on it, and reach out with my ESP to see if there is any thoughts or consciousness inside of this stone husk, or if there's any thoughts lingering around in the air. Or is her consciousness gone? What happens when you're petrified?
Her consciousness is indeed gone.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, witch. What's her name? They told me it was like... Ceres. Yeah. I'm going to search her house. I was hoping she was a cleric, but it seems like maybe not quite. Maybe a priest is what I was told.
Well, you will very quickly run into the trappings of the goddess Nadinus. In this form here, you will see leaves and like raindrops and wave carvings sort of along the rock walls here. There'll be like someone will have done what's the painting style where you will block off something and then blow colored sand or dust around it?
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know the term, but someone has made like a stencil of a tree and then blown like green and brown dyes and dust about it, and then in the green dyes has taken a very like careful stick and carved the dye around to make little shapes of leaves everywhere, that one of the major symbols of Nadinus. And then little blue raindrops have been like the negative space is the raindrop, and then there's like blue around it, and then little bits of a blue dye added to make the drops quite perfect way about. Then on the other side of the cave wall there are similar method of doing ocean waves. You do see the signs of a cleric, and if you look closely at her, see that while one hand is raised, the other hand is grasping an amulet of Nadinus, goddess of nature.
Well, I will rifle through her things. She doesn't also happen to be a leather worker, does she? Any signs of cured blessed leather around?
She is wearing
maybe fish skin?
A leather skirt where it's just a bunch of strips of leather, like an inch or so wide, that come down that point at the bottom.
Well,
overlaid
unfortunately that is stone, but maybe if I can find her backup skirt.
Her backup skirt? She's got her going out skirt as well, but it's cloth, not leather, unfortunately.
Do people really only have one set of clothes?
No,
what is she, an adventurer?
clothes. Yeah. She's got the one leather skirt, and her other skirts aren't all leather.
Okay. Well,
she's got more
I
than one
can't
outfit.
use a stone skirt, I don't think. Can I cast a spell with her stone skirt as a material component?
Definitely.
I'm going to rifle through her belongings and see what I can find. And I'll actually spend the day here. I'm going to slow down so that I can call this rest and sort through her stuff. I think I'm looking for valuables, and particularly this one spell component, but maybe not. But I do think I want the end goal to be to tidy this place and turn it into a shrine. So, like, I will find any perishables and get rid of them so that they're not rotting. I don't know, and just try and tidy it into a slightly more public place. Assuming she's not going to be unturned to stone, I will try and tidy it so that it could be used as a public temple kind of thing.
Right.
So that if like someone came to visit and pray to Nadinus, they would find a welcoming little shrine rather than a lived-in little sea shack. In the process, do I find any valuables? And does the stupid chicken ever wake up?
The stupid chicken will wake up eventually, but before that, you will find some bound pages of papyrus and vellum, like alternating. It looks as if someone has been continually adding pages to this notebook as it has reached its maximum, load. That belongs to Saris here. You will also find an offering tray near the front where someone coming to give advice or ask for a favor or ask for advice or whatever would leave their little bits of offering.
What are the offerings?
In this
are
offering,
they money?
There are a couple of coins, but what is resting on top of all of these is like a shed snake skin.
Put a hand on the snake skin.
Yeah, it's about stretched out. It's about this 2.5 feet. The color, of course, is not really visible in the skin. It's just sort of semi-clear.
I pick it up.
White.
This isn't. Could this be Platos? Is it his size?
It's roughly his size, yeah. It'd be weird for him to have made it all the way down here by himself without telling you.
If someone found it, though, and brought it here. Or is there another serpent? I will take this, but leave the money. In fact, I'll add my own copper coin to the pile.
We'll see signs of a struggle in here. It looks like at one point she had a staff, a gnarled staff that looks like it's driftwood. But
is that still here, or is it discarded?
It's here, but it is broken. It looks like it was damaged in combat, and part of it is way over here, and part of it is just here at the feet.
Maybe whoever killed there left a serpent skin as some weird, creepy serial killer token. I will cast a detect magic at some point. I think I will snort it this time so I can just search the whole room, look at the whole room.
Right.
Let's see. 15. And just to be sure, detect magic.
Yes. You will come across there's like some hooks that had what looked to be like jewelry and tokens and ornamental stuff, like personal possessions, but some of them will radiate magic.
The jewelry?
Yes. One of them seems to be a combination of like driftwood and sea glass attached to a string with like some adjustment to it, so you could like loosen it and slip it on and then tighten it, and it would hold in place. That appears to be magical.
Is it a bracelet or a necklace?
You can tie it around your wrist or your neck. It's a little bit flappy and dangly, like it's got these pieces of sea glass and driftwood that have a loop on one end, so if you wear it around your wrist, it'll dangle and maybe jingle. Maybe jingle's not the right word, but it'll, knock around. If you wear it on your neck, it'll still dang, but it'll probably dangle, but it won't flop about as much because it'll lay flat against you. So you could equip it either place.
Is that the only magic item here?
No, I'm just making notes so I don't forget anything. It when I have an idea, and then I make notes about a second idea, and I can't go back to the first one again.
You mean like 30 seconds ago you had another idea, or?
Yeah, like there's two, you got, here's these two things in the cave. Let me write down the first one. By the time you're done writing the first one, you can't remember the second one.
Yeah. And
the other is what appears to be like a brooch for your cloak or something that you would use to like pin some cloth together in the shape of a scarab or beetle. It is plated on the outside with gold, or maybe it's made entirely of gold, and it is very fine work. Maybe it's a beetle that has been turned into gold. It looks very lifelike, but
these are hanging from hooks. They're not like she wasn't wearing them.
Right, she's probably wearing other magical items, and these are the ones that she did not have equipped at the time.
She probably got a +5 magic sword up her butt. But... As you do. So that's all the magic, correct? But another interesting question. Your new detect magic can sense the residues of spells that have been cast. What is the duration of such detection? Does it depend on the strength of the magic?
Yeah, so depends on what the magic that existed created. So as you look about, you will certainly see that there is a magical aura around the human statue, and there is a magical aura around the snake skin that was left in the offering. It is the same type of magic around both. A evocation that has sort of like these, like a streaking pattern to it, which might not make a lot of sense, because it's not necessarily a visual sense that you're getting. It's a weird magical sensing, in the same way we might call orcs like charmed, or having a -1 spin, which doesn't really mean anything to your visual understanding, but
yeah,
and this is like a streaked pattern to the magic.
Okay. Is it possible that this snake skin is the cockatrice's tail skin? Like, could it not
Definitely
be a snake skin, but it's not a lizard tail? Okay. How long do residues last? It depends on the spell, not on the level or anything like that?
Correct. It depends on the spell that created it.
So some of them are... I'm noticing, like... One of them was... Okay, some of them... So, like, Identify Potion radiates... leaves a residue for a month. I saw one... Spark Shower, dim bursts for an hour. Some of them don't say anything, or some of them are just, like... very small sulfur crystals are the remains of the miniature magic. So Arcane Spray just leaves small sulfur crystals. Right. Are those permanent? Like if you've cast an Arcane Spray, are there tiny little sulfur crystals forever?
I
Indefinitely?
Break down eventually.
Okay, but those are meant to be more or less permanent until they've like weathered away.
Yeah, weathered away, gotten buried, got like blown away in the wind. Maybe someone got stepped on them and they break. They will degrade naturally, but they won't have like an exact life expectancy. In a dim, dark corridor that has no access to the outside, they could sit for a very long time. Or on a mountaintop in the middle of a snowstorm, they would be gone immediately.
Okay, and most of these do actually have durations. Okay. Well,
What do you do with the 2 magical items that you...
I take them.
When you pick up the scarab...
It animates and burrows into my flesh.
No, but there are some markings that appear across it.
Okay. I have Arcanology and Spellcraft. I could cast a Read Magic, actually. And I think I will do that if the need arises.
Yeah, well, why don't you...
So
give me all
if-
of them in that
if my
order?
first-
Arcanology,
okay.
then Spellcraft, then that. We'll see where... Well, alright, the Arcanology will pair it off right away. You will recognize this. You have heard of such a device. It is a gift, they say, from the gods that they give to their most faithful and loyal servants. It is a scarab of protection. It'll grant you a +1 bonus on all your saving throws versus spells. Additionally, it'll allow you a saving throw versus spell for spells that do not normally grant such saves. But it'll just be, you'll need a natural 20, or only magical bonuses to saving throws are taken into account for these things. So if someone
So a
tries to magic
19 or a
missile
20,
you,
right?
if someone tries to magic missile you, you'd need a 20 to succeed.
Not a 19, because it's +1, right?
Right, but if you so imagine your current saving throw is infinity, or is 21, which you can't
Okay.
roll on a d20.
Okay. Well, I will, and I can just keep it in my pocket. Or does it need to be like? Is it a suppository?
No, it's a brooch.
Oh, brooch.
You,
Okay.
You pin it to something that you wear.
Right. Well, for now it's in my pocket, but I'm sure I will pin it to me soon enough.
Actually, you killed your Arcanology check. This will also absorb level draining attacks, death touches, death rays, fingers of death, absorbing up to 12 such attacks, or the scarab is destroyed. So each level drain or death touch or death ray or whatever will absorb one of its 12 points. It usually starts with 12. She's probably used some, maybe has used some, but this is a favor of their beloved subjects who they wish to protect.
She probably should have been wearing this when she got petrified, or maybe she's got another brooch. Can you? How many brooches can you have? Can you just be like a Cub Scout with merit badges all over?
I think at that point they probably stopped working together. I think you can wear one brooch at a time.
Okay, so maybe she's got another brooch or something. And I will, I continue preparing her shrine.
Mm-hmm.
I will at some point look in the pool. Maybe stick my head in. I don't know. Stick an arm in. Like see if I can see the bottom.
It is
staff in. I stick a staff in.
Ah.
I stick a staff in a few feet. See if I can find the bottom.
It is deeper than you would have expected. Your staff will go all the way up to the handle, all the way up to your hand. Without.
All right. I'll crush up some fireflies.
Will the fireflies go underwater?
Will they not?
I don't think fireflies swim.
Okay, so then I guess I need an alternative.
The glowing creature.
I'm sure one exists, however.
Oh, you would need to have
a
phytoplankton.
A phytoplankton or something. Let me see. I'm not casting this, I'm reading it, but I may actually cast it. Let's see. I can conjure crickets. So can I use? I'm by the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Can I conjure some like bioluminescent sea creature with this conjure spell component to use to then cast my light spell?
Light spell, if you can conjure a cricket, I don't see why you couldn't conjure phytoplankton.
Crushing the remains of a harmless glowing creature. So like so some phytoplankton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can conjure a cricket. Wait. You can conjure whiskers, but you can't conjure a crow's foot. All right, sure.
Yeah, because whiskers will fall off.
They'll get shed. Okay.
Yeah.
2 specific components per level. That's castings per level, right? So if I'm level 4, I can conjure 8 castings of phytoplankton?
Yes.
Or some combination thereof? Or does it have to be the same? The items desired are moved physically. So, in theory, I could conjure 4 fireflies and 4 phytoplankton.
I guess it's whichever you want. You could do 4 fireflies and 4 castings of phytoplankton.
I'll do 8 fireplankton. I was just curious. Or like some bioluminescent jellyfish. I probably can't conjure living creatures. Right? It has to be like the dry. So I feel like some like dead bioluminescent are probably more likely. Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of like cool little like, what are those? I'm within 4 miles of the deep ocean, so some of these like
anglerfish and stuff.
Not an angler. There's like some really crazy deep sea creatures.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what to call these things, or what these things are called. There's a name, but copepod. Some like bioluminescent copepods.
There's some weird cephalopods down there that glow, I believe. And
yeah.
Cephalopod. Yeah, cephalopods. That's the squid and octopus family.
Yeah,
right?
this was copepod. It looked like some little shrimpy thing. But... Oh. So that will be 3 for the summoning, and there's no chance to fail. It's just like if it's there, it comes, right?
Right.
Okay.
But you're by the sea, and if your range is 4 miles, you can definitely summon these things.
Yeah. Okay. So I will summon 8 bioluminescent sea critters, and then use 1 to cast a light spell to swim down in there.
Right, a small swarm of copepods appear and flutter down. It appears that this sea well does head down quite a ways, maybe about 15 feet or so, before it turns and looks to head out towards sea and then also inland.
All right, I will strip down and go for a swim. Before I do, I will double check the bindings on the cockatrice.
The cockatrice is stirring as you go to check it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tie its feet up as well and like hang it upside down from the ropes.
You're gonna hang it upside down from the boat.
Maybe
the
upside down might
its
kill
head?
it. Yeah, maybe I at least tie its feet. I think hanging it upside down might kill it, but I will tie its feet as well as its neck.
Okay.
I think birds might be the kind of animal that, like, if their head is covered with a hood, they kind of just like give up, and like they kind of go.
It's nighttime, and so they just pass out, sort of thing.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like falcons wearing hoods calm down. I don't know. Anyways, and then I strip down and go for a swim.
All right. You dive into the cool waters.
I'm hoping I don't need to use Oh, I actually don't have any more potions of water breathing, so I'm gonna have to free dive this. I do have a swimming proficiency and solid con, so I think I will last 5 minutes underwater. So I will get a big gulp and swim straight down, and then like look both ways.
One way looks like it heads out to sea. The other way looks like it heads under the earth and inland for an indeterminate distance.
Okay. I will split the swarm and send it both ways while I look to see what I can see.
I think that probably actually requires a second casting, which I
No,
know
it
you've got
doesn't.
the mana for now. I don't remember.
Summons just purple. Only one is. Oh wait, only if larger harmless glowing creatures are to be summoned, such as a puffball, only one is summoned. At 4th level, you can reduce the duration to increase the area. For example, if the duration is cut in half, the caster has 2 swarms that each light a 10-foot cube. So I should have declared this as I cast it, but it is allowed to create 2 groups.
Okay, so you're
Or
4th level,
even
so you
more.
created 2 groups. That's fine. Yeah.
2 groups, and it will last for 6 hours.
Okay, that's fine then. You split them and head into.
Does this need to be done at the
directions.
casting, or can you split it midway through and and just consume some of the duration?
I had intended it to be done at the beginning of the casting. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, next time we'll be more careful.
Next time we'll be more careful. Yeah, still learning the new spells.
Oh, they're typical movement rate, so these probably are pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sit down here for a few minutes watching the lights drift. See what I can see either way. I'm guessing the one out to sea doesn't really go anywhere, but
yeah, it just sort of heads out and sort of downish for a little while until the creature must reach an area where the tides are pulling it, and then it moves more quickly and gets swept out and then to the side, and you lose sight of it. The one that heads inland goes maybe 30 or 40 feet before it reaches a wall.
All right, I will.
Upward shaft.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go up where I am and catch my breath before going back down 15 feet, swimming in 30, and popping up inland.
It pops up into a room, like a similar sort of walled well around the entrance to this room. And in the middle is a massive clam-looking shellfish sort of creature that is open and has soft blankets and pillows strewn about it like it is some sort of bed setting. There's it's a rounded room, and around the edge is a carved table. It's like planks put together on which other personal possessions and belongings are. This looks like her actual private quarters and not the decorative front where she meets people.
Is there anything of note here?
There are things of note. There are notably a stack of potions lying around.
How the heck would you get a potion out through the water?
Oh, they're sealed, so
Okay.
just don't accidentally unseal them while you travel through the water.
Okay.
And then there's like an actual dresser with more clothes and more objects, more personal possessions.
Any blessed leather panties? Or just blessed leather? That'll do too.
Are there any priest spells that require blessed leather?
I don't know.
Zweihaard's grips take blessed leather, but she doesn't have that spell. No, I don't think there are any spell components that require leather for priests, so no blessed leather lying about. Lovely.
Okay. Anything else I would think to want to take here?
There will be some bits of jewelry that could be valuable if you would like to pilfer them. I don't know how you feel about that, though.
I don't know that I have much need for wealth, short of... Yeah, what I need to... Where am I at? Is it like personal jewelry? Like her earrings and her necklace and stuff?
Yeah.
If there are pearls, I can use that for identify.
Yes, there is a bracelet of pearls. Just simply a string of pearls together that one would wear around their wrist.
Are they suitable for identify? Are they too small to meet the 100 GP value?
They are quite suitable indeed. In addition, there seems to be a very large pearl in this bed setting, rolled against the back with some, nestled between some pillows and blankets. And when I say a large pearl, I mean like child head size.
Is this clam alive?
It sort of looks alive. It's not sitting in water, but you can still see the back of where the clam attaches to itself does appear to have living flesh on it. There are blankets and stuff covering the bottom, so that you can't see if there's any fleshy bits there.
I'm kind of afraid to put my hand inside so I don't get chomped on.
I mean, it's big enough for a person to sit in or to lay down in.
I'll touch the outside of the shell.
It's cool and wet. Damp, I should say.
Is the legend lore gonna get me anything with this clam? Or my folklore knowledge? I think I'll leave the enormous pearl. Is it like tucked in amongst the pillows? Or is it just inside of the...
The giant clam is the bed on which blankets and pillows are.
So she just sleeps on the weird clammy flesh? You said there were blankets and pillows too,
so there's
right?
blankets, so she'll probably sleep on top of the blanket with maybe another blanket on top of her, leaving her in the clam.
And the pearl is just like in there amongst the blankets?
It seems to be rolled up the back amongst the pillows.
Interesting. I think I will leave that. How many potions are there?
There are 6 potions.
How many can I swim with at a time? Is there any sort of bag or pouch in this room that I can put the potions into?
Got some clothes that you could wrap up in a quick makeshift sack.
I think I'd rather do a bunch of trips, just to be safe. Ferry the potions back.
Very respectful of her home and her territory.
More that I don't want to risk breaking the potions. But I'm doing my best to be respectful. I'll leave her bed be. Leave her giant clam alone. The clam be okay on its own? Does it need to eat? Does my animal handling give me any knowledge of sea creatures such as this?
Definitely not. You're a desert hill folk. And this is definitely an unusual beast.
Well, I will ferry the potions. Take the string of pearls. Return to the main chamber.
You can gather them taking individual trips. It's not that far of a swim. You've got good con.
And yeah.
I've gathered them all together. Octris is tied up, staying pretty chill, barely at the edge of life.
Yeah, so I spend half the day here to rest and recover from my force march. Maybe I'll even just spend a whole day here. And
later in the day, one of the villagers will come by to see what's up.
Yeah.
Apparently the guy you spoke to earlier in the morning mentioned that he found you and saw you head off in this direction. And
yeah.
one of the people from this village that you met before has come out to what's going on.
Yeah, and by then I think I will have stashed whatever loot I took, and they will find me, like, respectfully tidying the shrine. So it seems like the front chamber is already meant to be a shrine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the back area is their living area?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will be dutifully doing my best to,
Well, since you're taking all
Good
day in
shine.
here and you're
Yeah.
resting all day in here, could you make me a wisdom willpower check?
pass.
So, as you're tidying up around here, in that same area where you found these two, the scarab and the sea glass / driftwood bracelet,
Mm-hmm.
there's like extra shelf space there that is empty. As you're tidying up, you'll notice that there are some like rings around the base, as if there were a series of conical things sitting here that would they have moisture on the outside of them. It looks actually like there was a group of potions that sat here that have been swiped or have been taken recently or given away recently or something.
Okay. Does she have any bulges on her person that might indicate potions in a pouch or something?
She does
Or
not.
do I think that whoever stoned her may have taken this?
The latter seems more likely.
Yeah.
Although they didn't take these two things, so I don't know what you want to make of that. There seems to be some very specific intent, perhaps.
Okay. Interesting. Where is what was her name? Saris. Where is her petrified body? Is like in the entrance
Standing
or
in the middle of the shrine.
yeah? It seems like
Yeah.
a suitable place for it.
Anyway, the person who arrives will
Yeah.
inquire as to what you're doing here.
Greetings. I am doing my best to pay respects. I did not know Saris, but I assume she would want this shrine to live on. Thrash, 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 says the cockatrice.
The person is clearly sad that what's going on, but looks at you as if, are you here to save her?
Alas, I'm not sure there's much I can do for her. I'm not sure there's anything that can be done, but if I am able, if I find anything out, I will return. For now, she will, Saris will watch over this place in perpetuity. And I put a hand onto the statue's shoulder.
The woman will, give a polite nod and bow. Tell you that the woman who left from here, the cloaked figure, they just assuming she was a woman by appeared to head east.
The bulges were actually stolen potions, not her feminine figure.
Not the broad hips. Yeah.
She headed east?
West.
I thought
sorry,
west.
West.
Yeah, west. I nod slowly. Don't mind me. Feel free to pay your respects. And I gesture to the pool, or like. You said there was a bowl, a collection bowl at the front.
There is.
Yeah.
The person will go over to the water, anoint themselves on the head and the shoulders and the heart, and then leave. Once they've done their best.
Mm-hmm. I think that I might as well spend the day here recovering my mana. I do not have my infinite scroll with me because that shit's heavy. Actually, no, with rations I couldn't have. I don't know why I'm carrying around a 2-pound jar of honey, but it's in my bag apparently.
Yeah, it's a lot of honey. Seems a little needless, perhaps.
It is. Maybe I've eaten a little bit by now, but so I can't study, but I can. Yeah. So as it's written, studying, it seems like it requires all of your books. Is that strictly necessary, or like it seems like a wizard with a traveling spell book ought to be able to study from their traveling spell book to gain the benefits of study.
Yeah, I think for short term that is fine. You know, you're studying the spells that you are going to be casting.
Yeah. It might be too complicated, but it could be something like that limits your spells.
The spells that you can cast.
Yeah, your available spells, your prepared spells to those which are immediately available.
I think it's too complicated to do that in the short term, but if you were going on a multi-month journey, I would probably say you can only cast the spells that you have in your spell book that you are traveling with. And I think if we're just bopping around a little bit here, it's probably fine, but on longer trips, well, that might we'll slide into that ruling.
Okay. Okay. I will stay here and rest for the day and travel on the morrow. So I can do.
The rest of the day will pass uneventfully. There are no monsters other than those that already lurk here. Where would you like to travel?
Okay. So I'll gain 11 MP. Still have a bit to gain, but I think I'm fine to travel. I'm going to go east a couple of days and see what I can see.
Right.
So I'll leave this cave and travel along the coast. I think I travel faster over land, don't I? Or over cost 6. I can move 24, right? So I can move 4 grasslands.
4 grasslands.
So there's 1, 2, 3, and let's go down 1 to 4. Actually, it was, yeah. Do you mind if I poke through this square instead just to see where the edge of the forest is? Yeah, okay. So I think I followed a route more. I followed the coast to here, and then I followed like the edge of the forest. So it was like this kind of a route.
Right.
I stay out of the forest just to improve my movement speed. That's where I go.
Follow along.
Yeah. And yeah, do I see anything on this day?
Roll encounter checks. Yes, the first thing that you come across, actually quite a bit before you reach this point, is going to be a stoned deer.
I've got the cockatrice, which I am dragging behind me.
Dragging it behind you, just like on the ground.
Well, it was conscious. Like, I think I would undo its legs and keep it hooded and drag it on a leash. What is its movement rate?
6.
Okay. So it would slow me down, wouldn't it? Or I could force march it.
I mean, I think it's one of those things, like, it's hard to make an animal walk at the speed that you want in the direction you want. Even, like, a dog is going to, like, try and pull off trail, you know?
Can I make an animal handling check? And if I fail, I will probably beat it unconscious and take its unconscious body with me.
I think that's just the better solution. I don't think you're going to be able to animal handling check a cockatrice into walking.
I'm going to train this thing, damn it! But maybe my animal handling tells me that the carrot is not going to work and it needs to stick.
Yes.
So I will give it a smack with my stick and then hoist it over my shoulder. Does it weigh like less than 20 pounds? If it can fly, it probably does.
Size of a turkey. Oh wow, that's actually quite a bit larger than I thought.
Yeah. Turkeys aren't,
but... a large goose or a turkey? So how much does a goose weigh?
Well, like all plucked and feathered, a 20-pound turkey is a big fucking turkey.
Right. So a Canadian goose weighs between 5.5 and 14 pounds.
Okay.
So we'll just take the average of that.
It's got a lizardy tail and bat wings. I feel like it might be a little heavier. But even if it's 20 pounds, I should be well under encumbrance. And I can just like hoist it over my shoulder.
Yeah, we'll call it like a 14-pound chicken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I find a stone deer and I investigate, like look around, see if like there's like hundreds of little cockatrice scrapes or
near
any sign of a struggle.
This deer, it looks like it was maybe in motion when it was turned to stone, because like awkwardly at its side now, like laying on its side, but its legs are sprawled as if it were.
Are there wounds, like a peck mark where it would have been dealt the blow that turned it to stone?
Yes, very perceptive of you.
There probably would have been. There probably would have been similar on the sea witch's body, but I didn't really think to notice.
On this creature, there is a peck mark near its ankle.
Okay. It's weird that they turn them to stone. And what do they eat?
The sea witch, you did spend all day with her, or half a day with her, whatever, had no such markings on her anywhere.
Okay. Maybe we are dealing with them. Have I heard of Medusa before?
I don't think so.
Should I roll folklore?
Yeah, give me a folklore check to see if you know.
Or do they not exist?
Gorgons.
I do pass, or are we looking? Is this the first Gorgon?
There have been rumors of strange monsters that are feminine in human form, but crossed with that of a snake, that can turn people to stone. They're considered true monsters to separate from things like ogres, which are humanoid, but like monstrous. This is one of those true, honest-to-God, monstrous creatures that exist in legend, that were created by Rossi, goddess of death, or perhaps by Velthara, goddess of vengeance. The exact origin of this one is not known, but created by one of the female gods in an attempt to punish the wicked, cause harm, bring danger to the world. One of those sorts of goddesses. And it's not just the deer that you see. You will actually see, over the course of the day, a dozen or a half dozen, somewhere in there, smaller things that have been turned to stone. Like you'll kick a field mouse that's been turned to stone at one point, and there will be a turkey. No turkeys in Greece. Some sort of other fowl. Turned to stone. A kingfisher or a golden oriole, like that.
So what about a kingfisher?
Turned to stone. You'll find other petrified creatures.
All right. They're not chewed on, right? So they're not eating their stoned creatures?
Correct. It seems that they are just destroying them and leaving them. They are not natural creatures. They have no place in the world, have no sense of ecology. They are pure destruction.
All right. That night, I'm going to drive my spear into the earth and tie the cockatrice to it. If I can find some like chicken food, bugs and grubs around, I will do this near that. Otherwise, I will conjure some dead crickets to feed it. Or maybe they're live crickets that you conjure.
You can find like a dying stump and crack it open, and there's all sorts of grubs in it.
Okay, so I will leave the creature there, or stake the creature there, and remove its hood, and maybe let it regain consciousness, staked next to the stump as I keep a careful eye on it.
Dangerous thing you're doing, but it can be
let
done.
it come to at 1 HP.
Uh-huh.
I succeeded on that animal handling check that you didn't want me to roll. So we'll see if I can train this thing.
You can stake it well enough.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's animal handling, not animal training, but actually,
it will peck at the spiders and grubs nearby, turning each one to stone in turn. And when there are no more to turn to stone, it'll come after you and reach the length of its leash.
It doesn't eat them?
It does not eat them.
I tried to leave like a little pool of water or something.
It simply turns them to stone.
Monster.
Pure destructive chaos.
I think I throw stones at it until it's unconscious again.
Pelt the stony creature with stones and it falls down unconscious.
Those aren't. Yeah, I wouldn't have used bullets. I would have just used stones. But and I'll put its hood back on, tie its legs up, and then I go to sleep like a good 20 feet away from it.
Okay. The night will pass. You'll awaken in the plains the next day.
If it doesn't rain, is that still a good sleep?
Yes, warm and dry.
Okay. So if it rained on me, that would be other sleep.
Right.
But if I get a dry night in the plains, I at least get a D13.
Where would you like to go?
I'm gonna do a loop around the plains, see if I find any more signs of these cockatrices, but I think I may head back to Necrot.
Okay.
With my loot before venturing further. Yep, okay, that's as far as I go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Have I heard of this lake?
That is not a lake. That is
the ocean.
Water.
It's salt water. Okay.
It's salt water. Yes. It's lowlands where you are right here, but when you were further south over here-ish, you were up on a rather large bluff, and it like degrades to sea level in this area.
Okay. And I will camp here on the banks of the seashore. Did I see any more petrified creatures, or did they stop after the second day, or after that first day?
You did not see any more petrified creatures, though as you make camp, you will see, by the light of a setting sun, a pair of giants off in the hills.
Alive, right? Moving?
Moving, correct.
Okay. I will leave them alone.
All right. Yep, you can camp the night away. Are you headed back to Necrot the next day?
I'm heading back to Necrot, yeah.
Okay.
Dragging this unconscious cockatrice the rest of the way. I don't try to feed it anymore.
All right. No encounters the next day. Go ahead and move your hexes.
And I will force march the whole way. So it's 6,
right.
16, 26. And I will return home.
You return home late in the day, and you find one of the Romulan warriors outside of your house, his weapon and shield set to the side, sitting on his knees, sort of facing your door, as if he's patiently waiting for you to step outside.
As I approach, I quickly look over Platos's shrine to make sure the fountain is intact.
The fountain is intact. Platos is there. There were people still milling about this evening. Everything looks in order.
I approach and I unload the heap of cockatrice on my porch next to the guy.
Turns to look at you and
May I
looks
help you?
down at the heap of cockatrice and immediately scrambles backwards, recognizing it for what it is.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, it's unconscious. I'm amazed the thing's still alive.
I've come to ask your help.
You're one of the Romulans, no?
Yes.
Does he have... He's got it... You said he had a spear and a shield?
Yes. He has set them beside him.
Are they new? So I burned their shields and took what spears I found.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably they had another stash of weapons, or did these look like they've been built in the last couple of weeks?
This is
Fresh
perhaps
wicker
another stash of weapons, or maybe weapons from a soldier who wasn't around when you attacked the village.
Mm-hmm. Are you here about the cocks, or is it some other matter? I like prod the unconscious chicken on the ground.
Yes. Remus led our finest warriors, myself included, to track down the source of these creatures and slay it. Unfortunately, they were met with a rocky ending.
It's a shame.
I've come to ask
Remus.
you to finish what he started, and if possible, to save Remus.
I nod. Remus was a great warrior. Stubborn bastard. But I don't even know if he deserved this fate. Have you eaten?
No?
Come inside, and I will walk past him into my little hut. Does there happen to be a loaf of bread, a loaf of pita or something deposited on my table this time, or not?
Yes, there are some foods that have been placed in your hut as well.
Okay, so I will welcome him inside, offer him some food, and sit down.
Yes, you can get some pita bread stuffed with lamb, olives, and a little bit of honey.
I've got 2 pounds of honey. Don't be stingy. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've just come from Sinus. I found their petrified witch. And then I journeyed west. Found some desecrated wildlife. Tell me, was Remus able to track them further?
Mm-hmm. We had many scouts and trackers among us. We visited Sinus to the source of the beasts, and they said they saw a woman. We did our best to follow her tracks into the woods. It's near Sinus. There was a cave within the bluffs, on the inland side of the bluffs, and inside of it there were many creatures, a menagerie of stone beasts left around. Garden of Death. Cave is lair of the one. Remus went in, heard some cries, then nothing. I was set to watch guard, make sure nothing came up behind us, and after all went quiet, I poked my head in the cave, saw Remus and all the others turn to stone, and I fled. I came straight here to Necrot, and have sat here waiting for you since I've made it.
Pure destruction. As far as I can tell, that beast doesn't eat. Just turns creatures of nature to stone.
Their minions are everywhere now. Small little evil birds.
Evil birds? Oh, yeah. cockatrice.
If they are not stopped, He looks at you. I fear for all people in Arcadia if they cannot be brought down.
We call this island We call this island Arcadia, or this world Arcadia.
It is one of the many islands in an island chain, all of which are Arcadian islands.
Okay. I nod.
Equivalent of like the Philippines or something.
I may need a day or two to settle some affairs here in town, but then you can will you show me the way to this lair?
I shall. I think this is probably as good of an ending spot as we're gonna get.
Yeah. Shall we wrap up experience points?
Let's wrap it up for the day here. You did Cockatrice?
I did.
Hit minimal damage on an attack. Holy shit, the cockatrice gives way more experience now than it used to.
Yeah? What does it give? Right. I mean, it's got a save versus petrification or reroll your character ability, right?
It does. But I think my movement... When I have it just as a regular creature, it gives 2,000, but when I say it can fly, all of a sudden it gives like 4,000. I think I still need to make some changes to my calculator. Flying creatures should give quite a bit more. Double is probably...
Okay, I think I spent 28 MP. Was it time? It was 10 per? Was that what we said? Or, yeah, right?
10 per point, yeah.
Yeah.
So we defeated a cockatrice. We built a blood shrine for creating endless holy healing potions. And we investigated the truth of who Atropos really is, where she gets her powers, and found that there is something living in the vent that grants her magic. Mm-hmm. Or something that is feeding on the magic that she gains, or something. There's something.
Or living beyond the vent.
Right.
Is it a crack into the abyss? Who knows? But
it also is able to create healing potions, which is usually a divine thing, and she's been an arcane person up till now, so it's oddities there, but we've uncovered some of these. We had learned of the cockatrice, started the battles, discovered some secrets in Eris's cave.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for general experience, why don't you take 3,500 and divide it by 2?
So divided by 2?
Yeah.
3,500 divided by 2, 1,750 per class. However, there was 5 hit die creature.
There was a 5 hit die creature, and your fighter is level 4.
Yeah, so that'll be plus 40 times 5 is 200. So the fighter, so close. 15,816. So I'm like 150 away from leveling the fighter, I think.
So close.
Wizard. I've got 10% bonus, so the 1750 times 1.1 plus 280 for the MP times 1.1 plus I learned a second level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 200 or one? Is it 50 per level? It's 100 per.
It's 100 per
Yeah.
spell level learned.
200. Is there any? Did you already do XP for making the shrine?
Yes.
Because that seems like
that was questing XP. I just put it in there.
Seems borderline magic item creation, but not quite.
Yeah.
We'll get there. All right. So the wizard gets to 18,861, which is, I think, wizard's level next at 20,000. Is a level 5 wizard 20,000
until I think 80,000. I think it doubles.
Yeah. So probably next session we'll hit level 5 with each.
Ooh,
which will be a big one.
Mm-hmm. But you will have to fight a Gorgon to do it.
That's scary. Do I do the whole thing blindfolded? I don't have a gaze reflection spell.
Yes, how can you fight a creature when you might not even be able to see it? It's a tough one.
Start
the problem
blasting
that has
arcane missiles all day.
Just arcane spray everywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll wrap us up for the day. Ryan, you got anything to say before we go?
I don't think so. Thank you for watching. We should be back next week.
I believe so. Tuesday? Friday?
Should work. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. I think Fridays usually work a little bit better for me, but we'll check in, I guess.
Okay. Let's see. This Friday probably won't work.
Right,
next
not this Friday, but
probably
next.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well then, we will see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Got plugs to plug. Where can they catch you next? You got a show today?
We will have Empires of Arcadia tomorrow night. Tombs of Scoria on Thursday. Nothing on Friday. Shenanigans on Saturday. Chit Chat on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yep. So we'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.